Name is Fadhwa. We are live in studio right here. Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. How are you? How are you doing? And happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm super excited that you're able to join us. You know what? Our global community, our Love Bay global community, you're always there. It doesn't matter where you are, what time it is. I know you're always tuning in and listening in. So I just want to say thank you and I acknowledge you and I honor your presence. Welcome. My name is Fadwa and I'm your host for the Gems of Life show. It has been a few weeks that we have not been here, to be honest with you, due to life circumstances and situations that I was not able to come in and be here live with you. But here I am. Here I am. So I just want to invite you. How are you, wherever you are? Where you tuning in? If you're able to just communicate with us, send us a message, call in, or you know what? Send us a text. All forms of communications are welcome. I missed you all, to be honest with you. I miss sitting here and just having a conversation with you. I just really want to talk to you in regards to the last time I was here in studio. And we were actually talking about setting our goals, creating our vision, creating the vision that we want to create for our life. So I want to invite you today to take a moment, really take a moment, and go back to where you were 3 weeks ago. Where are you at? Now, to our new listeners globally, if you're listening in, I'm going to take you back to 3, 4 weeks ago when we started, recreating and redefining and refining some of our life goals and visions. Okay. So if you're tuning in, I invite you to just take a moment, get a notebook and sit down and write some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. And you still have time to catch up. You have time to catch up. All right. So, if this is your first time tuning in and maybe you have not listened to some of our shows in the past, or it's a refresher, you just want to get some ideas of where you are in this moment, and maybe you forgot some of the stuff, or maybe it was unclear, today is a moment also to catch up on that. Okay. Now, one of the things that we talked about and the first early stages of redefining your goals is actually just having some clarity on some of your goals. Let me tell you, I've had so many aha moments in the past 3 weeks, even though I wasn't here to share with you, and I'm going to be sharing some of the aha moments. I've had aha moments, and I'm happy to share them with you. But let's go back, okay? Let's go back and take a moment and actually start planning, redesigning some of the work that we want to do. Think about yourself as the architecture of your life. What is the best life that you want to create, right? When you go around cities or anywhere you travel, are you not mesmerized by the sight, the vision, the beauty that you see around you? It's beautiful, right? And sometimes the architecture that you see out in the world, you wonder, how did a person come up with such an amazing, creative way of building this thing in front of us? This beauty, right? And you can do that. You can actually create that kind of life for you. Now, I'm not talking about these buildings that we see, this beautiful architecture that we get to enjoy around the world. I'm talking about something that you can actually live in. Yeah. A home that you can create, a home that is fulfilling. And I'm not talking about home that is an architecture part side of it. I'm talking about the home within you that you can create, the life that you can design, the story that you can rewrite. That's what I'm talking about. Because end of the day, you are the one who's living in it. So you get the say. You have the say. You're the boss of your own life. So you get to be the architecture of the life that you want to design, the life that you want to live. You're the author of your story. You're the director of your life and the actor of your life. So you get to choose how you want to live your life, basically, right? You're not living your life from the sidelines. You're actually writing and rewriting and defining and redefining and rewriting the story. And you're looking, ooh, and you get to be the director. You direct the direction you want to see your life go. Okay, so let's take a moment and write 10 things you would like to achieve in the next 12 months. 12 things that you want, that you would like to achieve in the next 12 months. Just write them down. 10 things. Okay. Once you do that, I invite you to take a clean page, and I actually invite you to just have a book, a notebook specifically for this, because we are progressing. As we're growing, we're progressing. And each page, it's like you're turning a new leaf, a new chapter, a new page. You're rewriting. So by the time you're done, you can come back and actually see the steps, right? This is how we measure our progress. Because end of the day, we want to measure our success. We want to measure our progress. That's how we know we are growing. If we are not able to measure, then we don't know if what we are doing is actually working. Okay. So 10 things that you would love, 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 love to create in the next 12 months. What would you love to create? What would you like to rewrite? What part of your life right now, this moment, that you would like to recreate? What part of the story that you've been telling yourself that you would like to rewrite in the next 12 months? Just take a moment. 10 things. All aspects of your life, you're not limited. Relationship wise, your love life, your health, your relationships in terms of your family relationship, maybe siblings, maybe you're parenting, you have children. So, what kind of relationship you like to create when it comes to you and your children? Or maybe you with your parents, your siblings, your friends, your community, your financial relationship. What is the story that you've been saying or telling yourself when it comes to finances? What are the stories you've been telling yourself when it comes to your health? What are the stories you've been telling yourself when it comes to your love life? I'm very familiar with that. I'm actually a master on that. So, what is it that you want to create? What are the areas that you're doing really well that you would like to redefine and maybe even refine them? 10 things. Once you do that, now I would like for you to now look at the 10 items you've written. Okay. And just look at each one of them. And in no particular order, if you had a magic wand in your hand in this moment, and you just went and looked around and in no particular order, and you looked at all the 10 items, and this magic wand that you have gives you the ability to create something in this moment, right now, this moment, to create something in this moment. Money is not an option. Time is not an option. There's nothing that would limit you from actually achieving what you want out of this list. Look at which one out of those 10 items will create the most impact in your life in this very moment. This is where we actually prioritize what really, really matters to you. Which one will give you the most fulfilling? Which one will create the most life altering experience for you? And you had this magic wand, and you can actually get that just now, maybe 20, forget about 24 hours, right now. 24 hours is in the future, right? So we are thinking in the present right now, in this present moment. You've written 10 items that you would like to achieve in the next 12 months. And in this moment, you have the opportunity to live that life, to actually experience it. Ask yourself which one out of the 10 items you would create today. And think in a way that looks like this. So if you're thinking about maybe finances, for instance, you want to expand, right? We want to move from the fish in a pond to the fish in an ocean. That's what I want you to just imagine. You've moved from a fish in a pond to a fish in an ocean, where you have space and abundance of anywhere you want to go. There's limitless possibilities of where you can go. Okay, so think about that. So when it looks about in regards to your health, when in regards to your finances, so if it's finances, don't look at, oh, my I've paid off my debt. No, you're beyond that. Paying debt is just in the pond. You're fish in the pond. You want to expand your horizon. So what does that look like in this very moment? Maybe it's a car that you want to drive. What kind of a car do you want to drive? Maybe it's a home you want to own. So you're putting it, instead of the future in the next 12 months, now you're bringing it here in this present moment. And what you're saying is, I own this. And then you actually write, I own this. So what is it? Can you embrace that future in this present moment? That one thing that you could create, what does that look like? How does it feel? You want to bring that emotion to it. How has it impacted your life in this very moment? You want to own it. You're living it. You're experiencing it. The joy, you want to explain, the emotions. How has it impacted you? This home that I own. I have my family around me. I have my friends. We're having dinner. We're having barbecue. It's a beautiful summer day. I'm right outside the ocean, the bay, all that. Everything that you want to create in that environment, you bring it to the present moment. The breeze and the fresh fragrance of the water. I can hear the sound of the birds chirping. You want to bring the freedom. Whatever it is, if it's your health, bring it to this present moment. And then pick one. Now, part 3 of that process. So you've moved from having 10 items that you've written that you want to achieve in the next 12 months. Now you've brought it forward to this moment and you've selected one out of these 10 items and you're actually living it. You're manifesting it. When we talk about the architecture of creating your life and rewriting that story, it's actually feeling everything, right? When you're writing the story, when you're writing a book, what happens? The stories come to life. The emotions are alive. That's what we want to do right now in this moment. What does it feel like? Now you've done that. The next stage now is, and this is the last conversation we had, and we left our global audience and family working on, is what are the action steps that are required for you to manifest this? Whatever it is you've written, what action steps are required in order for you to manifest that you desire? Okay. So this is where we are at. So I've brought you exactly where we are. And today I will just share briefly some of the challenges that we may face, or some of the challenges that stop us, the barriers, the limitations that actually prevent us from actually going farther from here. See, what happens is I've been there. I've done exactly what I'm telling you right now. I did this 3 years ago. I did this 10 years ago, right? But even then, I didn't have a lot of clarity. I was like, yeah, fantastic. I'm doing all this. Great. Then what? There was a block. Something was blocking me. I couldn't go past that. Right? 10 years ago, I had ambitions. I had desires that I wanted to pursue. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I had an ambition. I wanted to host my own TV show. I wanted to have my own talk show. Over 30 years ago, I used to watch this program back when I was in Manchester, England. And I used to watch this. She was a talk show host. Her name was Missilla Black. And she used to have she used to have her own show. It was a dating show. And back in the days, there was not too many talk shows, right? So one of the shows that I used to watch was that. And I love the personality. It wasn't just about the content of the show. I wasn't thinking that I'll host a dating show, but I was thinking to myself, I love the energy that I see in this beautiful, vibrant host. And I was like, I want to do something similar, not in that framework, but I want to do that. I want to do this kind of work. She inspired me to do this work. And that was over 30 years ago. And I started going into the process. Yes, one of the goals was like, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to get myself into a TV program. Okay, so I took broadcasting program classes and I went to college for that. And that dream was cut short a year after. Life, again, what happens? Life happens. Life happens. And life trajectory just changed. And it wasn't God's plan for me to be in that space in that moment, because things happened that propelled me to get me to this country. And that's why I'm here today. So I wasn't meant to be where I was at that time. It wasn't ready. I wasn't ready in that moment. My life path was taking me on a different direction. So sometimes, when we plan things and we have goals and we have these things that we want to do in our lives, guess what? There's going to be a detour. Life will take us on so many detours. And that's what the journey is. Life is not about destination. It's always about what? The journey. And through the journey, there's going to be a lot of detours. So what I'm saying to you is, even in this moment, as you're planning this, it's not set on stone. What you're working on will manifest, but how you get there, we are not in control of it. You are not in control of it. I am not in control of it, but you will get there. That's what I'm trying to say. I am here doing this. It's not on TV, but guess what? I am here. I am actually talking about this, and I'm doing this live show, and it's on video, and you can watch it across the globe. Now, come on. This is TV to me. This is modern TV. I am doing what I set out to do 30 years ago. It just didn't come in this form of media. Okay? So sometimes what we are planning to do, or our vision, how it plays out may not be necessarily the way we think it's going to play out. But it will play out. It will play out. We are designing this life that we want to live, that we want to manifest. And how it comes out, it's not our concern. We just need to do what we need to do to get what we need to do out there. right? So I would like to invite you to just consider that. Because oftentimes, we have this framework, right, that we've been taught to function from. And if we stay with this framework and we follow through our journey, our goals, and we stick to this framework, what we want, whatever it is that we are looking for, we'll end up getting it. So my biggest aha moment, oh my goodness. So my biggest aha moment was actually regarding this framework. Okay. So what I have done in the past is I plan, just like, what we're talking about right now. And I plan my goals. I have my vision. This is what I want to do. And I have an idea of where I want to go and what I want to do. But I stuck within the framework of doing what I was doing until I started doing some coaching for some of the clients, because I'm doing coaching now and I'm coaching a lot of clients. And what I kept hearing, a lot of clients saying, this framework, I need to do this framework. I need to follow through this framework. And I'm thinking, hold on, what's going on here? I'm doing the same thing. And somehow there's always a block. And I recognize the block. As they're talking, I'm recognizing the block and I'm thinking, hold on. We are functioning from a limited space. Again, let's go back to the analogy. A fish in the pond can only go far within the limits of where it's at in that moment. But the fish in an ocean, ooh, let me tell you, how far can it stretch and how far can it go? And that's what framework does for us. Framework limits us. We are like that fish in a pond. We can see past that. We cannot see past the pond. Now, if you had an aha moment there, please say out loud, aha. you know, and that was a huge for me. I'm thinking, hold on. If I were to come to you in this moment and I asked you, I need this support, I need this help, and I know that you have some level of understanding, some level of skill, some level of experience that you can help. And I come to you and I say, you know what? I'm really struggling in this area. What would you say to me? Would you say, oh, hold on, Fadhwa. I gotta, just one moment. I gotta figure out all the framework before I come and give you an answer. Would you say that to me? You wouldn't. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go into your life skills. You're gonna go into your lived experiences. You're gonna pull something out of your magic hat and you're gonna say, you know what? Here. You will find something that would help somebody else. I guarantee you that. So, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, whatever it is that you have picked out of the 10 items that you have listed, I want to invite you to look at that and ask yourself this very question. With this that I have picked, and in this very moment, the action steps that I'm taking, that will take me towards this goal that I want to achieve, or this life that I want to live. Are these action steps coming from a framework? Am I that fish in a pond that's functioning from this limited space? And if I notice that's what I am in this moment, what do I need to do to get myself to that lake? And maybe after I gain the strength that I need and, have that courage and the resilience, then I can push myself to the ocean. Maybe I don't, I'm not courageous enough. Maybe I don't have the skills to go into the ocean. But you know what? I have enough to take me to the lake. Maybe I know I can swim across the lake. And while I'm there, I'm going to build myself to get myself to the ocean. I don't know where this analogy came from, but it worked. It worked. It worked for me, and it worked for my clients. It worked for me, and it worked. And the moment I recognized that, and the moment I said to myself, oh my goodness, all this time, no matter how much I've done, despite what I have succeeded, and I know what I got, I know what I have, I know what I have, I know what I got that will take me, forget about the lake, it will take me to the ocean. I got what it takes to get me there. Yet I was still functioning from this framework that locked me still in that small place. So I want to invite you today to challenge yourself to get out of that framework. You don't need no framework. You already know what you need to do. You already know where you need to go. I was watching a few days ago, I was watching something came up. I think it was Instagram. Instagram, yeah. And Trevor Noah was asking Oprah a question. And he asked her, he said, what are some of the characteristics? And I'm going to paraphrase this. What are some of the characteristics that successful people have? And Oprah, she's amazing, by the way. And I've already manifested that. I've already met Oprah, and we've actually sat down outside my garden, and we're sipping tea, Somali tea. I've already manifested. I'm sitting there and I'm talking, and she's reading my book. She's actually interviewing me about my book. So it's already happened. Okay. You gotta leave that as it has happened, and the universe will be gracious enough to open that space for you. Okay. Now, what Oprah said was most people know where they need to go. Most people know where they need to go. They know what they need to do. The reason people don't know where to go or what to do is because they're caught up in their chaos. They're caught up in their chaos. So remove the chaos in the mind, you get clarity. And once you have clarity, you know where you're going. You know where you're going. So she said the same thing, ask yourself one question. What is it that I really want? Ask yourself, what is it that I want? And with that answer, take every action every single day that will actually support you and move you towards what you really want. It sounds simple, right? It sounds so simple. Yet why do we struggle? Why is it that most of us struggle with that? I'm one of those people who struggle with that. Right? So remove the chaos, you get clarity. So what do we do with the chaos? And where's the chaos coming from? And one of the chaos is actually just sticking to that framework. Sticking to that framework. That's limiting us from actually doing it's limiting us from doing what we need to do. And from us moving forward and towards the things that we want in our life, that we want to manifest. So I just want to pause here for a moment, and really think about it. And really think about it. What direction do you want to move your life towards? What are the things that you want to change? Instead of being a co-creator in your life, what can you take lead on in your life? So that's what I want to share. So I want to share my second aha moment. And this is regarding where we're headed in our life. Because the chaos, again, I said about the framework, the second chaos that I want to share, that was my biggest aha moment, is I recognize this one thing, okay? And I would really like for you to actually take a moment to sit down and take a journal, write down some of the things that I'm going to share with you and see if you can relate with this, because it's going to be recorded and you can actually pause it. So as you're listening, you can actually pause and take time to reflect, take time to write some notes, take time to actually come back and actually see how is it relatable to me in my life in this moment. Because I know our challenges, we struggle with something, and end of the day, when we look at it, we all share some of the challenges. So I know what I'm struggling with. I know it's not unique to me. And I know what you're struggling with is not unique to you, right? We all have limitations. So one of the aha moments that I actually had a breakthrough this week, again, was I have graduated from my year-long program. So I've been taking this year-long program, graduated, I got my certification. Yes, congratulations to Fadhwa for a year-long work. So this is what I did. We had a graduation party last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, 2 Sundays ago. So after the graduation, I actually sat down and I said to myself, you have done this year-long program. What are some of the things that I did that actually helped me stay committed to this year-long program? And I sat down and I reflected upon it. Okay. And so I want to invite you to do the same. So ask yourself, what are some of the things that you have accomplished in the past? Or some of the things that you're actually doing right now that requires you to do certain things in order for you to get the results you're looking for. Okay. Because sometimes what we do is we bypass a lot of things that we do, and we just continue doing it without even thinking. And by bypassing some of those things that we're doing and the actions that we take, we don't recognize that we can actually come back to the very thing that got us where we are today and use them. So we're looking at the inner resources that we have bypassed and have taken for granted. And each one of you has that. You have inner resources that you have bypassed, that you have not paid attention to, that has and have in the past produced abundance of amazing positive results in your life. Every success, every achievement, everything that you have achieved is due to your inner resource. So we are coming back to your inner resources that have been bypassed. So I sat down and I took some notes. And I said, okay, what was required of me to actually complete this year-long program? And what are some of the commitments that I had throughout this year? I was like, okay, I had to show up every week for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. I had to show up twice a month for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. I had to submit 25 case studies. Mm-hmm. I had to submit some assessments. Mm-hmm. I had to do some quizzes that I had to pass. I had to read a lot of materials. I had to attend some events and workshops. There was a lot of things that I did. Okay. But what are some of the skills and the inner resources that actually supported me in achieving everything that I needed, that was required of me? Persistence. I had to be persistent. I had to be committed. I had to be committed. The weekly, the bi-weekly meetings. I had to be committed I had to be present to every single session that I showed up. I had to be present to every conversation that I had with everyone. What else, Fadwa? So I sat down and I started writing down. And I had more than 10 inner resources, skills that I had that helped me and supported me in gaining the credentials that I have today. And all this time, I've been saying to myself, I need to be more persistent. I need to be more committed. I need to be more this. I need to be more this. I need to be more this in order for me to manifest the life that I want. But hold on, Fadwa. You've been always persistent. You've been committed. You've been all this. So why do you need to be more of that when you already have that? So this is the framework that I'm talking about. Sometimes we want to do something and then we go back and we say, oh, I wish I could be that. Or this is what I need to be in order for me to do this. When we don't realize that we're actually bypassing that very thing that we are saying we need because we already have it. We are bypassing it and we're saying we need to be, I need to be committed. So if you're struggling with that, I want to ask you something. Right now in your life, right now, this very moment, what areas in your life are you already committed to? Chances are if you're in a relationship, you're in a committed relationship. If you have children, you are committed to your children. If you have work, you're committed to your work. You wake up in the morning and you show up and you go to work on time. You can show up. You do show up. So you don't need to show up to the work that you're doing because you automatically show up for everything else. So what is the challenge then? Because if we're still functioning from that framework, what is the challenge? I'm going to tell you what my challenge was. So I said, if that was true for me, if I know I have done all this, so I have everything that I need to move me in the direction that I want in my life, what's the holdback? So this is my aha moment. I realized that everything that I did, yes, it was right. I had all these qualities. I'm just going to take a moment here because this is very powerful, okay? And we really need to take a breath because I do need to take a breath. Even now, just talking about it, I just realized how powerful this is. Let me tell you something. Everything that I had done the past year, of course, it was me doing what I needed to do. I showed up and everything. And everything that it's helping me, right? It's helping me here so I can move forward. I can help because that's what I want to do. My goal is to enrich the lives of the people. That's what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to enrich people's lives. And in the process of me enriching people's lives, my life is enriched, right? So that's what fuels me right now. So all the learning that I have done is actually helping me. It's enriching me so I can enrich others. Okay, wonderful. But guess what? Where is the challenge? How is it that I'm struggling knowing that I have all this and I have this vision and everything that I'm doing and all the inner resources that I know that I can do it? I know I'm more than capable. I know I have the capacity. Why is it that I'm still challenged? And the realization is everything I have done in the past was always towards people. I'm doing this. I'm showing up. There's going to be here. There was accountability. There was people waiting for me. There were people that I had to answer to. If I didn't do this, there was consequences. Right? If you go to work late, there's going to be consequences. Correct? If you don't go, if you cannot call your boss and say, I ain't feeling like coming to work today. I'm just going to sleep in. Guess what's going to happen? There's going to be consequences. want you to just think about that. You cannot slip in and say to your children, go feed yourself, unless they're capable and able. You're going to get up. Despite how ill you are and how sick you are, you're going to get up. Despite how tired you are, you're going to get up and you're going to get into that car or bus or whatever, walk, and you're going to go to work, because there's going to be consequences. So if we have that ability to push ourselves for others, what's stopping us from pushing for ourselves? What's stopping us from doing something for ourselves? We know we can do it for others. Why? Because oftentimes we do everything that we do for everybody else, and we don't put us first. We don't put our priorities, we don't put our wants, we don't put our needs first. We put everybody else's wants and needs first. And also we put others first. Why? Because there's consequences. If we don't do this, there's going to be consequences. So if we approach, because there are people who struggle with putting themselves first. And it's going to be very difficult to change that mindset. It takes work to change that mindset, right? So for those who struggle with that, I would like to invite you to look at the things that you're going to be doing, the action steps that you're going to be taking. Use the same framework. If I don't do this, if I don't take this action, what will be the consequences? What will be the consequences of me not taking this action? Because I know what I want. I want the life that I want to create. But if I don't take this action that will give me the results that I want, what will be the consequences? And then approach it from that mindset. Because sometimes we are consequence driven. So if you're consequence driven, use that approach. And for those who are able to actually challenge that and say, hey, you know what? What I want also matters. And I know it's not selfish. It's me taking care of my needs. It's me putting what I want also in the front line. Right? When we take care of ourselves, we're actually in a better position to take care of everybody else. And when we teach others the importance of us taking care of our needs first, they get to respect that and honor that. And then it's a ripple effect. They get to learn how to do that for themselves. Now they're not too dependent on us. Now just think about that. There's two options here, two avenues. We are never stuck. We are never in one framework. Right? So for me, that was huge. And let me tell you, it liberated me. I'm thinking, first of all, why am I stuck in this framework? If I want to be out there in the world and do this work and enrich people's lives, I don't need no framework. If somebody came up to me and they asked me for some assistance, they asked me to help them, they asked me for some, something to help them in their life, and I know I have the capacity to help them, I don't need no framework. I don't need no framework. So whatever it is that you have, ask yourself, do I really need a framework to do this work? Do I really need the framework? And then go for the other two and look at yourself and ask yourself, okay, what drives me? What drives me? If I'm putting myself first and I'm comfortable with that and taking care of me right now, I'm going to go for that. But if you're struggling with that, and that's okay, because we are all working in progress. And if you can look at it and say, okay, you know what? Sometimes we are consequence driven. And if that's how we function in our life, you can actually ask yourself that tough question. What will be the consequence? This is, I think for me, this helped me. The consequence action helped me actually back in 2019 when I came back from Africa, and I'm in my aunt's basement with my two kids, $0 in my account, no job, no home. Okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, Fadhwa, you've come back renewed. You have this beautiful outlook in life now. You're energized, you're motivated, you're inspired to make a change and create a change. Because I knew the life that I lived was no longer an option for me. I knew the life that I lived in the past was not one that I wanted. So I was ready to recreate a different story for myself and for my children. I was ready to reshift and redesign a different life for myself. I was like, that worked at that time. But now I want something different. Something is calling out. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew it had to be different. So I asked myself, I said, okay, Fadhwa, everything that you have known in your life has taken you thus far. And this is as far as I can reach. Okay. Like go back to that fish in the pond. That's all it knows. So I knew in order for me to move to the next stage in my life, I knew I needed new information. I knew I needed a different perspective. Something had to change in order for me to change the results that I wanted. I didn't know how, I didn't know what it was, but I knew something had to change because every information I knew, everything that I knew had taken me this far. And it was not enough. Everything I knew was not enough for me to move to the next stage. That much I knew. So the consequence action for me was, if I don't do anything about it, nothing will change. And my life will still be the same. So that was the consequence. So the consequence was my life, I don't want my life to be the same. I don't want my life to be the way it is right now. Okay. So in that moment, I wasn't thinking about me putting fast because I didn't even know me. Okay. I didn't even know what my wants were. I didn't even know forget about my calling. In that moment, I didn't even know what I'm doing right now was a possibility. Okay. All I knew was where I am right now in this stage in my life is not what I want because everything that I have right now and the information I have has produced the results that has given me, it has gotten me where I am right now. And for me to move to the next stage, I need more information, something that would move me to the next level. And if I don't do it, I'm going to be where I am today. That's a consequence decision. It's a consequence choice. If I don't do this, this is where I'm going to be at. And it can work. Believe me, when you have to have a life altering decision and you don't know where you are in that moment, use that. Use that. And it works. It works because each one of us, we're all in different stages of our life. We're all in different stages of our life. Today, I'm in a place where I can say, I'm putting me first. I'm in that place today. And I also know there are times in my life, even now, I bring the consequence. Okay, Fadhwa, if I don't do this, this is what's going to happen. If I don't take this action, I'm not going to get the results that I want. Right? So that fuels us. So use that to fuel you. Okay? And that completely changed. Completely. Let me tell you, I had thousands of reasons, tens of thousands of reasons for not doing the next step, for not taking this next step. I was not a luxury to spend money that I didn't have to take me to the next step. That part that wants to keep us comfortable, be in that pond, the fish in the pond, just be in that framework there, so comfortable. What would happen? You can't spend all that money. You don't have that money. You can't do that now. Just wait. Wait a year from now. Wait another 2 years. You're not ready for that. All those thoughts crept in, wanting to keep me there. But something inside me was like, I want more. It was hungry. Something in part of me was hungry for more. So think about, what are you hungry for? What are you hungry for? And what would happen? What would happen if you don't create that life you want to create today? That part in your life, if it does not happen today, what would happen? Okay, what will be the consequence of you not following through? What will be the consequence of you not doing what you need to do on a regular basis, on a daily basis? And if it's so important to you, and if it matters, make time for it. Make it important. Make it a priority, because you are. You are worthy of it. You are important, and you deserve to do what you're doing right now. You are worthy of creating that life you desire. You matter. You are worthy. And guess what? The moment you put it out there, see what the blessings of God will come showering upon you from the heavens. I'm telling you, doors will start opening left, right, center. And it may not come the way you envisioned it. You know why? Because we don't have that capacity to create that big vision. God has a bigger vision for you. So what we've envisioned is nothing close to what God has envisioned for us. So whatever you envision, it's not anywhere close to what's coming your way. It's going to be magnified. Magnified. So that's why I'm saying, don't be that fish in the pond or in the lake. Swim across the ocean. Swim across the ocean and see what it's like. So I'm going to take a moment here. Just take a moment and just be with what's happening right now, and give yourself this moment to just see what's going on. Listen, I am just like, I have a few more minutes left here, right? And I just want to say, you know what? The gems of life, came about this kind of moments. The gems of life came about the moments that I had to go through and discover and uncover the hidden messages. Even in our chaos, there's hidden messages. Yeah. And sometimes we don't have clarity of what we want to do or where we're headed. Even in that chaos, there's a message, there's a gem. And when we recover and uncover what that gem is, that's where everything becomes clear. Okay. So dig through and ask yourself, what are some of the things that I want to create in my lifetime, that I want to leave behind? Part of my legacy. Our mind, we can only go as far as we can allow ourselves to go. And even that, what we create becomes even larger than what we actually envisioned. Yeah. I mean, think about, when you go outside and you look outside, your eyes will take you as far as you can see. But your mind, your mind is limitless. It's limitless. But when we stay in that framework and we're that, fish in that pond, and we stay in that, it can be scary, of course, to get out of it. But once you get out of it, you can't undo that experience. Can you imagine? I just want you to imagine. A fish in the pond finally got out and got into the lake. Can you imagine that fish going back into that pond? It would not survive. It would not survive. It will not survive. That's who we are in our growth process, in the possibilities of creating this beautiful, amazing, magnificent life that we want. Once you get a taste of it, whatever it is that you want to create, you can't undo it. Once you unpack that gem, you cannot unpack it. You have this gem. Would you put it back? No, you won't. You wanna hold it and explore it and do everything that you can with it. And that's where I am in my life right now. I cannot undo what I have learned in the past 3 years. I cannot undo what I have learned the past 30 years, my entire life. And so as you. You cannot undo that. You cannot unlearn that. And all that is just part of your gems. You're carrying abundance of gems. You're wealthier than you think. You're wealthier than you think. Wealth doesn't come, it's not just transactional. It's not just money. If your experience could be transactional, like put it in the same way that you would count money, you would have nowhere to put it in this world. Yeah. It's priceless. You will not find one single spot that would fit in this world. And that's what I want to say that to you. So you have inner resources that you may have bypassed. There's abundance of possibilities that are just waiting for us. And all we have to do is take one action. That's it. One action that will take us and move us towards it. So the question is now, what action steps are you going to start taking today? Enough talking. So let's sit down and start planning. What are some of the action steps that you're going to take today? And how are you going to measure that? Because we want to be accountable. Remember, part of the consequences, what happens? If you don't show up, you're going to face consequences. You may not graduate. You may not do this. You may not get your certification. You may not get the qualifications. All that, there's consequences. So what is the outcome? How are you going to measure your outcome? And what are the consequences of you not following through with your action? You got to write it down so you can be accountable. You can be accountable. Pick someone that you can talk to. Have an accountability partner. Somebody who can do this with you. You see, you have to be careful with somebody who's going to be supporting you, because there are people who are not ready. They're not ready to carry their own dream. How are they going to help you carry yours? So you want to have an accountability partner who will hold you accountable, because they're holding they got their own stuff carrying, and they cannot carry yours, but they can say, you know what, I'm here with you. Let's go. I got mine too. And if it gets heavy, we can help each other. We can support each other. But my load is heavy. I ain't carrying yours. But I can help you and you can help me, so we can move forward. Okay, so find somebody who will be able to support you in this journey and inspire you and motivate you and fuel you. But show up. Show up for you. Show up for you. Because that's the one thing that I find, that we show up for everybody else and we don't show up for ourselves. Show up for you. Because you matter. You're worthy of it. You deserve it. And you're good at it. You got everything you need to get what you need. You know you got this, and you know where you're headed. Okay? So I'll be signing out. Please go to the Gems of Life show. Go to my YouTube channel. sign in, subscribe. There's tons of videos there that you can subscribe. If you want to get a hold of me, please send me a message. There's an email on my YouTube channel, or send me an email. Find me. I'm on social media. Google me. That's the easiest way. I'm on Twitter, the Gems of Life Show, on LinkedIn, Facebook as well. And send me any questions you may have. Share. If you go on YouTube, just share the videos so that others can benefit. But I want to invite you next week. Send us a message and let us know how you're doing, where you are. Let's hold each other accountable. Let me know where you are. I'm going to hold you accountable. Where are you with your goals? Did you write down the 10, did you list 10 things that you want to do and achieve in the next 12 months? Did you get to the one that is so important to you, the one thing that you can actually live and manifest in this moment that will change and alter your life? And then what action steps would you be taking to support you in manifesting the life that you want? Remember, you're the architecture of your life. You're the author of your story. So what life are you creating today? This is Fadhwa. Take care, be well and safe. And you know what? Enjoy and stay warm wherever you are. Take care. Bye-bye.